All right, let's talk about Google's latest and maybe most controversial new feature, AI Max. If you're managing paid search accounts, you're going to want to listen up. This is pretty much your technical survival guide for what's coming in 2026. So let's dive in.
So, here's the big question, right? Is Google's new AI about to completely take over your ad account? I mean, you've probably seen that little Enable AI Max button pop up, and let's be honest, it brings a bit of anxiety with it. Are we about to just hand over the keys? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
Okay, first things first, we have to figure out what exactly we're dealing with here. The best way to think about AI Max, it's Google's newest black box. It's this unknown variable that, if we don't get a handle on it, could seriously mess with our performance. And look, this thing didn't just appear out of thin air. You can see the breadcrumbs if you look back. In 2021, we got Performance Max, our first real taste of this black box automation. Then, in 2023, auto-created assets started letting AI write ad copy. Fast forward to 2024, Gemini models get integrated, making the whole system smarter. So it's no surprise that in May 2025, AI Max is announced. And now the big one. By 2026, it's not just going to be an option. It's going to be the default for all new search campaigns.
Now, this is probably the most important thing to get straight right out of the gate. AI Max is not a new campaign type. I'll say that again. It is not another PMax. You don't build an AI Max campaign. Instead, think of it like an optimization layer, a sort of AI-powered blanket that you put on top of your existing search campaigns. And understanding that distinction, that it's an overlay, is absolutely crucial for figuring out how to control it. Okay, so we know what it is conceptually. Now let's pop the hood on this thing. Let's really look inside that black box and figure out what this optimization layer is actually doing under the surface. So here's the official technical breakdown. It's an AI-powered overlay, right? And it's applied to your existing search campaigns to automate two main things, your targeting and your asset creation. And here's the kicker. It does this beyond your manual settings. So it goes past the keywords you've so carefully chosen and the ad copy you've written.
And this right here, this clears up the number one point of confusion I see everywhere. People hear AI and Max, and they immediately think PMax. They're totally different beasts. AI Max is only for your search campaigns. It's a layer on top. Performance Max, on the other hand, is its own separate, standalone campaign type that runs across the entire Google network, search, display, YouTube, the whole shebang. So they are not the same thing at all.
I saw this quote from a lead technical media buyer that just nails it perfectly. They said, AI Max is basically broad match on steroids, but with an LLM writing the ad copy in real time. And that's it. That's the best analogy you're going to get. Imagine the widest possible reach of broad match, but now you have a language model like Gemini just making up your headlines as it goes. That really captures both the power and, the potential danger of this thing. So the whole system really runs on three core engines. First up, you've got keywordless query matching. This is the part that goes out and hunts for relevant searches that you completely missed, searches that are nowhere on your keyword list. Next, and this is a huge one, is dynamic asset generation. This engine literally goes to your landing page, scrapes the text, and writes brand new ad copy from it. And finally, there's audience signal expansion. This is fascinating. It means that if someone, say, watches a YouTube review of your product, the AI can use that behavioral signal to then target them when they're on Google search. It's connecting the dots in a whole new way. All right, so now that we know how it works, we have to talk about the flip side, the risks. Because if you just let this system run on its default settings, well, it can create some pretty serious headaches. The early adopters, the really technical marketers, are already pointing out 5 big frustrations. Number 1, you lose that super tight, granular control over your keywords that you've probably spent years perfecting. 2, the AI can go a little rogue and start writing weird ad copy that completely violates your brand voice. 3, it can start stealing traffic from your other campaigns, cannibalization. 4, it can break your API reporting scripts, which is a nightmare for data teams. And of course, the big one, it's another black box, which makes figuring out attribution, well, you know how that goes.
And this right here is the most immediate, real-world consequence of that dynamic asset generation engine. You have to remember, the AI isn't some creative genius. It's a scraper. So if your landing page has garbage text on it, if it's messy or outdated or just poorly written, guess what your ads are going to look like? Yeah, garbage in, garbage out. It's that simple.
Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom. You are not powerless here. Now we get to the good part, the solution. Think of this next section as your essential AI control kit. This is how you tame the beast and actually make it work for you, not against you.
And look, don't just take my word for it. This is a warning, pulled directly from the official Google Ads API documentation. It says that activating or deactivating AI Max can cause errors for API requests, and that you must update your parameters. This isn't a suggestion, folks. This is Google telling you that you can't just flip a switch in the interface and hope for the best. You need to do a proper technical setup, especially if your reporting relies on the API. So how do you do it right? The only way to really control this thing is through the API, not the pretty user interface. This is a high-level look at the process. First, you have to securely connect to your account through the API. Then you set the big rules, the campaign-level parameters for the AI. After that, you get even more granular and define specific rules for asset generation right down at the ad group level. And only then do you push the whole configuration live. This is how you build guardrails for the AI. You're telling it exactly what it can and, more importantly, what it cannot do. All right, if you take away only one thing from this, let it be this. Your absolute number one critical action item is to actively turn off dynamic asset generation. That is the only way you can 100% guarantee the AI doesn't start writing off-brand rogue ad copy. For anyone who cares about brand compliance, this is a non-negotiable first move. You just have to do it. Okay, action item number 2, build your fence. That keyword list matching engine is designed to wander, and it will go into places you don't want it to. Your best defense, your strongest fence, is a really robust account-level negative keyword list. This is what tells the AI, hey, these topics, these terms, they are completely off limits. I don't care how semantically similar you think they are, stay away. So let's just zoom out for a second. What does all this really mean for the future of our jobs? Because AI Max isn't just another shiny new feature. It's signaling a really fundamental shift in the rules of the game for paid search. And this really says it all. The future of PPC is going to be way less about meticulously managing these giant keyword lists and a whole lot more about managing the AI itself by feeding it strategic data inputs. We're talking about giving it the best landing pages, the sharpest audience signals, and the tightest negative keyword lists. Our job is literally shifting from being an operator to being an AI manager. And that really leaves us with one final big question to think about. AI Max. This is just the beginning of what this keywordless future looks like. So the real question isn't whether you can avoid it. The question is, are your campaigns, are your skills truly ready for what's coming next?